So, welcome everyone, and thank you so much for making it. I know some of you guys made last week's call and the week before, and this kind of really does tie into last week's call and the week before that. So, just for those of you guys who didn't make those two calls, the first call was just talking about vision and what a vision is and how to get a vision. And really to like draw down into your why. I'm obviously not going to go into the details of that call. That recording is posted in the team page. And then last week we basically did a vision board party. I know Jojo has been part of one of those before. So we were actually practically putting those vision boards together in like a 45-minute session where, you know, people were either doing it on their computers or they actually had bits of paper and they were kind of bringing it all together. And I hope for those of you guys who were on those calls that you're feeling like generally just a lot more fired up in the mornings when perhaps you're getting up early before work to do these like vital behaviors to kind of build them into your day. And as I was saying last week, you're not going to be able to motivate yourself to do those bits unless you're really fired up by your vision. So that piece is absolutely crucial. But of course, goal setting is huge because it's all well and good us having a vision, and obviously that is hugely important. You listen to any personal development book, they'll talk about having a really clear vision and a really clear why and understanding why this is important to you. And obviously each person's vision is going to look different. But then the crucial piece is actually having really clear goals and goals that you can reverse engineer. Now, I know for a lot of us, we've never heard of that kind of concept. And so I talk about it all the time. And obviously to me, it now makes sense, but for a lot of you, it might not. So I wanted to just break it down in a sense that hopefully it's like a practical example that you can then understand for yourself how that would work. So for me, as you guys would have learned last week, I have vision boards, and I have one for 5 years and I have one for 1 year. And that was something that I kind of just learned through trial and error, was that actually having this like grand vision board without having a smaller vision for the shorter term, just when I was writing down my goals and stuff in the morning, my vision, I couldn't really connect with it because I couldn't see how that was ever going to happen, right? And you want to feel as though all of that stuff is going to happen and is realistic. So it's a case of then breaking it all back and breaking it down. So hopefully you guys have done a vision board, or if not, please like go back to those videos, or if you know what you're doing, like start to do one right now, because into the new year, that is going to be what fires you up. I know this time last year, that's when I did all of this, and that's why I consistently hit my goals into the new year. So with that 1 year vision, what I then did was I looked at what that 1 year vision was, and I looked at what I then needed to do in the year to achieve that vision. And so for me, there were things like traveling to summits. There's also on there was traveling to the Bahamas with our family, which that was a Beachbody trip, but we had to pay for the flights. And so for me, that then helped me break down the financial goals and then kind of the business goals that I needed to hit in order to achieve that financial goal. Because for me, if you guys kind of have joined the business, a lot of you guys have joined after I was kind of making that transition. But this time last year, I was teaching loads of PTs. I was teaching lots of classes. I was working golf club hours. Arthur was only in preschool two mornings a week. So I was really trying to like hustle to work out how I could then strike the balance with my finances so that I could reel back on those classes, and so that I could do the Beachbody thing full time, because that's what I really wanted to do. And I don't want to like scare any of you guys, because I know sometimes people think, oh, well, Lizzie does it full time, it's okay. Well, my full time is literally like 5 hours in the day. That's how much I do, because that's how long Arthur's in childcare. And other than that, honestly, I don't have much time to actually work the business. So my goals were then, okay, I want to make this Beachbody income a full-time income that replaces what I'm getting from my classes and my PTs. Okay. So that was the way that I started to focus on that yearly goal for the coming year. So think about what your goals are. Like, what do you want to do with this business in the next year? Like, we can't say, okay, cool, I want to earn 100K in a year. It's not realistic, right? I'm not saying that's anybody's goal, but what I'm saying is, can you see how that's going to feel like it's never going to be achievable? So for me, yeah, that is a goal of mine. It's a goal for the end of 2020, and that is realistic, aligned with where I am with my business right now. But obviously that wasn't the case at this time last year. So to start with, it wasn't like this big visionary goal. Yes, there's a vision board, but to start with, it was okay, to work towards this year vision, I need to be in a position where I'm putting more time into my Beachbody business so that I can pay for the flights and so that I can reel back on those classes in PT. So I worked out what I needed to earn each month in order to replace that income. Okay, so I worked out what that was. And then I said to myself, okay, I knew, like, for me, I was always hitting Success Club. Okay, for some of you guys, you're newer than that, so you're kind of not at that point yet. But if you haven't hit Success Club yet, I would say that needs to be one of your reverse engineered goals to make a scalable step up to your next goal, no matter what it is. Okay. Success Club for me as a new coach was a non-negotiable, and that helped me leverage and move up that, I suppose, like that staircase. So by the time I'd hit the end of this year, I was hitting kind of Success Club 10. So I knew that I was going to hit Success Club 10. And so I knew what that was going to earn me in terms of my income if I helped 5 people each month, whether or not they repeat ordered. Because what I want you guys to think about is a worst case scenario here, i.e., you have people who enroll and they do not continue to purchase product, they do not continue as a customer, and so you're just in your head, you're writing those goals as though they are all on you. And I can't remember which coach it was one of the coaches in Kate Schultz's team, and she was a diamond, and she was saying, I don't rely on any of my coaches to bring me any income until I know I can rely on them to bring me any income. And whether or not, like, you're looking to build challenge groups through having challengers who love the programs, who are loyal, you know, and obviously that is going to build your residual income. Because again, like if you've got coaches in particular who are, they love the product and then they're helping other people, of course that builds your volume as well. But what I want you guys to do for now is just focus on, okay, what's my goal for next year? Where do I want to be financially? Because guys, it's great having a vision, but unless you write down incremental financial goals with this business each month, you're not going to hit them. I'm going to be honest, like, you're just not. It's all well and good having this amazing vision, but unless you can tie it down to tangible goals that can start to pull in that vision, you're going to get to the end of each month and be like, how the heck am I ever going to get there? Okay, so think about it. What is it that you need to achieve each month to start scaling towards that goal, no matter what it is? You know, it might be that you want to, I know, pay off your car or pay off a credit card, or it might be that you want to make Beachbody a full-time thing. It might be that you want to replace your income, but be realistic, okay? But also be optimistic and push yourself. Because guys, if you don't push yourself with your goals and you're like, nah, that's easy, I'll tell you something, it's not going to motivate you, because it's not going to be out of your comfort zone and you're not going to go for it and you're not going to do it. So I learned that through my own experience. Like, to start with, as a new coach, I was just hitting Success Club. And honestly, for me, and we're all different, but that was like, okay, that's really doable. Like, this is getting boring. I need more of a challenge. I need to check, because we need to be challenged as humans. We need to be challenged in whatever way it is. Otherwise, we're just like, meh. So hold yourself to that goal, okay? Write it down, okay? So say January, you're like, okay, so in January, I'm going to help maybe 3 people, maybe 5 people. Maybe your goal's bigger than Success Club 10. But I would say these goals make it very easy to work out financially where you're going and how you can make that step up. So maybe if you haven't hit Success Club 5, you start writing goal as Success Club 5. Okay, what is that in financials? I know in the States that would be like 5 times 50. Not 5, it would be, sorry, it would be 3 times 50. So it would be $150 for the month. Okay. And then what are you going to do for the next month to scale that income? So you're going to build a challenge group that's great. You're going to check in with your challengers and customers, and in the hopes that that income continues to build, because they are staying on the product. And then really where you need to be, like, is $150 a month if you're just hitting Success Club enough? Or are you wanting to build a full-time income with this business? They're 2 completely separate things. And the reason why I mention it is that obviously we've probably got people on here who want to build a residual income. And we've probably got people that just are okay for now with just the commission element. And to be honest, when I started as a new coach, I didn't really get the residual income, which is the building the team piece. So I just focused on the commission. So that's what I want you guys to do, if that's what you're focusing on. If you're starting to build a team and you, sorry, I'm just looking at Jojo's comment, and you have got bigger income goals, then what do you need to do that is a measurable thing to keep those coaches on board, to help them see success in their business? Because guys, if we want to build a great residual income, we need to be leaders that are able to help our coaches get started right. Okay. And I don't want that to overwhelm you or overcomplicate things. But in order to build a residual income where you start to scale to much bigger numbers, you need to be in a position where you can do one-on-one calls with your coaches, where you can offer them that training. And that's not complicated, because what we've all been sent in terms of the training is what you would send a new coach. And as you grow in confidence, you're going to feel a lot better having those conversations. But that is what's going to build your residual income with those new coaches. And then they're going to start helping, say, like 3 people get started each month, which is going to build your volume, which is another call that we did, but you start to cycle through that volume. So it really does depend what your goals are. But for me, just as an example, I wanted to be earning £2,000 a month, £2,000 a month by like the middle of 2019. And so my strategy was, right, okay, if I want to earn that kind of money, I'm just going to hit really big numbers with Success Club, because then whether or not the coaches stay on or the customers stay on, I know I'm building that income, and I know I'm going to have builders in there because of the fact that it's a numbers game. And to a certain degree, what we do is a numbers game. I'm not saying that you all have to build like that, but for me, to be able to have a reliable income that meant that I could pull away from my fitness classes and my PTs and my golf club hours, which was honestly burning me flat. I was knackered. I needed to hit big numbers. That was the only way that I was going to be able to back out of just honestly feeling constantly exhausted, like 5 spin classes a week, and then all of the other stuff that I did here. Like it was exhausting. So for me, there was like, I always say, like, what motivates you is inspiration and desperation. And to be honest, I had both. Like this time last year, I was like inspired and desperate at the same time, because I didn't want to stay in that situation. So my goal, and again, like, don't take this as your own, but to hit that kind of number for me, to know that I would get there, to feel confident that I would get there, I was like, I'm just going to pump numbers in. I'm going to help my coaches. I'm going to be there. I'm going to really hit it hard. And I was like, I'm going for Success Club 30 every month. So that's helping 15 people each month. And I'm not saying that was easy, and I'm not saying you should do the same, but can you see that I was like, I need to have an insurance policy almost. And that insurance policy is that whether or not people perform, I know that I'm going to be making that income that means that I can walk away from those classes. So think about, and you guys may not have even thought about what you want from this business, but as I said last week, like, this business is the most unbelievable opportunity to provide you with the life of your dreams. So don't fall short. Don't be like, okay, well, it's too hard work, and so I don't think I'll ever make it. So I'm just comfortable with whatever I am. Because I promise you, unless you set yourself strict, non-negotiable goals, you won't hit your targets. You have to literally be in a position where it is a non-negotiable. That goal, no matter what you make that goal each month, is happening, and you don't negotiate on it. I.e., say someone sets a goal of Success Club, which is something that I did in the start, and I would have set my goal of Success Club, and I had no idea how to reverse engineer a goal. So I would just be like, I'm going to hit Success Club this month. I'm going to hit Success Club this month. And honestly, like, to start with, it is going to take you time to work out what you need to do action-wise to come out with the result that you're looking for. Okay, and for each person, that's going to be different. So you have to be willing to just try things. The business activity tracker, if it did exist this time last year, I wasn't aware of it. So this should revolutionize setting your goals, because if you're doing all of this every day, whether you've got like 5 hours or 2 hours, will ensure you hit your goals as long as you're filling this out every day. So say like I wanted to hit Success Club 30, I would be inviting like 25 people every day without fail, like non-negotiable. I was promoting my posts about the coach opportunity twice a month without fail. I was investing $160, so what, £140 each month on promoted posts, because I was like, I know and I'm confident that will get me to that Success Club 30 level, because at this time last year, the sneak peek we were doing was doing really well. Girls were going into it. We'd worked out this promoted post element, which I will just add actually, because I think when you're goal setting, if you do want to build a team, promoting a post is a non-negotiable, in my opinion. It might be that you're an absolute rock star with invites and you can get people to fill out your apps, really easily. But my opinion is you're not going to hit high numbers if that's what you're looking for, unless you're promoting posts. So think about that. If it is that you want to build a residual income, i.e. an income that is coming in even when you're perhaps not performing, or you want to walk away from a job, a part-time or a full-time job, I would suggest that it is building a team that you want to be looking at. That said, Natty Roo, who we had on this team call some weeks ago, she earns fantastic weekly income. I think she earns about £300 to £400 a week, which for her is fine, just through customer commissions. So she just helps challengers get started. So I'm not saying that you have to build a team, but I think you just also, when you're setting your goals, need to think about what you feel most confident with, and what you believe most in at this point in time. Because it's no use if you're quite new and you're like, I want to build a team, going like gung-ho into that target of I'm going to promote twice a month if you're not yet there with the confidence. I would say like build that part over time. So like, for example, when I started doing call to actions for coaching, I just started with one promoted post a month, and I built that up over time as I grew in confidence, and I obviously grew to understand the process. So I think it's so important, guys, to treat this like the business as it is. And I've said this before and I'll say it again, like when we work in our own environments, we have to call ourselves out on the stuff that we're doing. Like, is there stuff that you're doing with this business that you would be doing if you were in a corporate office? Ask yourself that honestly, because that is a question I ask myself a lot. And sometimes I find myself doing stuff that I would not do if I was working on someone else's clock. And actually think about it. Why would we not respect our own business when it's our own like baby, and by like just, I don't know, going to this and that, and I'm just going to put the washing away, like whatever it is. Don't get me wrong, it's easy to get distracted in your own home, but think about the fact that you've probably worked a 9 to 5, or you may be working a 9 to 5 now, or you're working on someone else's clock, and you wouldn't dream of doing these distracting items that you're doing. Yet in your own time, when it is potentially a 6 or 7 figure business, if that's what you want it to be, if you're just like, oh, okay, I just do a bit of this now and you're not being disciplined, get that discipline in place right now, because your business is never going to thrive and you're never going to hit those targets, no matter what they are, if you're treating this like it's take it or leave it, doesn't matter, it's on my own time, I've got freedom. Because there is no freedom without discipline. And I know you guys have heard that phrase before, but it is so, so true. Then I've learned that, and I'm not saying it comes overnight. Like, this is something that I still learn and I'm still tweaking. And I think you do need to understand that this is like, you have to be in this for the long term. But the sooner that you can get disciplined, and that really does start with your goals, the better. Because when you look at your goals each month or each week, you're going to start to call yourself out on the stuff that is taking you away from that goal, because you're actually self-sabotaging. That's what it is. So that monthly goal, I will just talk about then reverse engineering it. So say you want to help. Sometimes I have a blend. So I might want to help 5 challengers and 5 coaches. Okay, so what do I need to do to achieve that objective? I would say that you need to be doing a coach call to action for 2 weeks of the month and a bootcamp call to action for 2 weeks of the month. And I know in our Business Builders page, UK page, Thomas went through this, but having a marketing calendar, this was something that was also covered on the National Wake Up Call on Monday. Having a marketing calendar and working out, right, where in my month am I going to be calling to action for my bootcamp? What date is my bootcamp going to start? How many spaces are there going to be? And how many girls am I going to get in there? And then for that goal, what are you going to need to do? You're going to probably need to go into Canva and produce the visuals. You're going to need to create a Facebook page or a My Challenge Tracker group. And I'll tell you, if you start to get organized with that calendar and you start to own it, like literally like own it, you level up and you have confidence because you know what you're inviting to. It suddenly gets really exciting because it's your own thing and it's your own baby. And you've got this marketing calendar, like, you know, it's amazing. In fact, I'm getting one next week. Those calendars you can stick on the wall where you can actually, like, it's just for the, say it's for the month. I would strongly advise doing that because then you can see, right, on these days, and these days, in my stories, I'm going to be calling to action for my bootcamp and it's going to have 5 spaces. And that's going to give you confidence, guys, in those goals that you're setting yourself. Because if you set yourself a goal where you're just going for Success Club and you don't have a strategy about how you're going to get there and you actually don't really know what you're inviting to, or in fact, like maybe you're not even running your own challenge group, you better bet that you're not going to be motivated to achieve that goal because you're not going to feel confident with what you have to offer because you don't own it. And I say that because when I started, I kind of was in my coach Mackenzie's bootcamp group for a while and I didn't really do much. And then kind of 2 weeks into being a coach, I was like, no, I've got to run my own bootcamp. Like I've got to own it. I've got to be excited about it. I've got to create the visuals. And I had a start date and I spoke about it confidently. And I actually was really excited. And that came through. And then the girls, in fact, they were my warm market, friends and family, came into my bootcamp. So think about what you want to achieve as an end goal for next year. Whether it's financial, whether it is kind of, I want to make Beachbody part-time and my other job part-time, or I want to make Beachbody full-time by this date. What does that mean I need to earn for the needs of my family or household, whatever it might be? And then work it back, okay? And work it back based, as I said, on what you earn for a challenge pack alone. And that is going to give you confidence because come hell or high water, i.e. whether your challenges stay on or not, you know you've got a really almost like a pessimistic goal, right? That sounds really negative, but it's a really safe goal from the perspective that you haven't banked on anybody apart from yourself to drive that goal forwards. And then you can start to build in, like in brackets, okay, if these guys stay on, what am I going to get commission-wise and how's that going to build? But I think to start with, if you're a newer coach, if you haven't hit Success Club, it definitely needs to be Success Club. That is the Success Club system for a reason because it helps to show success for people and it helps you to build confidence in your own ability to then build and go forwards. So I hope that's helped. What I'm also going to share is what I do kind of every morning. I know some of you guys already know this, but I'll write down every day what my goals are. So I'll write out my vision. And this is why I was saying, like in that live video yesterday, I connect my vision to my goals. So I'll write down my vision. So it'll be for the year and for 5 years. And then what I will do is write down my goals. So I'll write down my goals for the end of 2020. I'll write down my goals actually down kind of 2 monthly increments for 2020. Then what I need to do to achieve those goals. So for me, like obviously I lead quite a big team. So it's developing leaders. It's hosting Emerald in 24-hour calls every other week. It's hosting Getting Started Right calls every other week. It's inviting about 20 people a day. It's promoting my post twice a month. It's running a challenge group once a month. And then it's running mentorships twice a month. That all comes into my goals because, of course, if I just set myself, hey, I'm just going to hit Success Club 30, but I haven't really thought about the strategy behind it and also the fact that I have a growing team and a team that needs me and I need to pour into them in order to develop them to build my residual income, then I'm not going to have a business that's going to help me reach my goals. So for me, now that I'm at the phase that I'm at, and I know we've got some builders on here for sure who are building out, like Donna's Almost Diamond, Jojo, Kelly, I know we've got builders, Lisa as well. What you should do is write that goal in Success Club and then try to really focus on where it needs to be weekly, monthly, and then what you need to do each day. And I think a lot of you guys already do that. But for me, with the volume of pipeline that I have, for example, I know one of my goals daily, and I'm not saying this should be your goal, so don't take it as your goal, but because of the pipeline I've got with, i.e. the number of people I'm contacted or have been contacting over the passage of time, my follow-ups are around 100 a day. And I know if I'm hitting around that number and I'm following up with those girls, then I will achieve my Success Club goal each month for the most part, because it's tried and tested and I know it works. And that works for me. But just bear in mind that you're probably going to set yourself a goal, and you're probably going to be finding your feet with maybe how many follow-ups you need to do a week or a day and how many invites. But I think to start with goal setting, if you haven't got into a routine with this, you need to get in a routine with this first, and then start to set more specific goals. Because it's no use trying to set yourself a goal if you haven't got yourself into a routine with your follow-ups and your invites, because of course consistency over time is going to help you achieve those goals. And that ties into the vision. So if, again, like if you set your goals but you don't tie it into your vision, which is I think something that a lot of us do, we'll set goals but we don't look at our vision board every day, or we don't write our vision out. What happens is we don't get that emotion, that emotional connection to the goal, because we're not excited from seeing the physical vision, from writing down the vision, and then we don't hit the goal. And I'll be honest, I'll sometimes not hit my goals, and it's because I haven't got excited about my vision, and it's because I haven't connected with it. And that's why the past 2 weeks, before this call, I was talking about vision, because you want to be able to see a way that you can start to tie that all in. So, you know, I know, for example, let's talk about Summit. Some of you guys have got Summit on that board. Okay, how much a flight's going to be? Probably about 600 to 700 quid. Yay, Jojo's oh my God, Jojo, I need to talk to you about that as well, because we're going to be getting a villa. Yeah. So sorry, that got me excited. So if like the goal is maybe for us in the UK, like we're going to fly over there, it's going to be £700. Okay, so for me, my business is going to pay for that, because there's no way that I'm paying for that from other sources. Like I back myself, I'm going to pay for that Summit ticket, I'm going to pay for all the expenses. Okay, I need to build that into my goals for the next 5 months. So think about that, because that, honestly, guys, that feeling when you start to go on these trips and you know that what you've done with your Beachbody business has actually paid for those business expenses, I can't explain the feeling. It makes you feel like a total boss. It really does. Like all of the trips I've been on, I've paid for out of my Beachbody income, and it's going to give you so much confidence. So if you haven't put earning your Summit flight ticket cost with your Beachbody business, put that on your board, because that's going to be probably hard, or you might say it's hard. It's going to be a bit scary to build that in as well on top of any other income goal you have. But I'll tell you, when you hit it, you're going to be so bloody proud of yourself, excuse my language, because it feels amazing to know that you've got your butt on that flight from what you've done here. So I hope that's been useful. I know Claire shared a document in the team page, which was reverse engineering goals, which is still in there. So I will try and like reach that out and repost it. But what I think is so important with your goals, guys, and this is where I went wrong in the beginning and why I didn't really ever achieve more than Success Club in the start, is that I would just literally write down my goal at the beginning of the month, and I'd be like, okay, cool, just I know what I've got to do. I've got to hit Success Club. And I'd never look at the goal. In my head, it would be like Success Club. That would be it for the rest of the month. Well, of course, it didn't really fire me up. I didn't have a vision board, and I hit Success Club. Cool. If you want to hit goals and you want to really like exceed your goals and you want to get really excited about them, what I like really advise doing, and I cannot advise you to do this enough, because this is where I suddenly started to just be like, whoa, I can't even believe what I'm doing. What I did was I would get my book out. You guys probably see me posting this in my stories. If you watch my stories, I'll get my book out, and every morning I was writing out my vision. And now I don't even think about my vision. It goes onto the page. I write out my goals every morning. I write down my weekly goals, my daily goals, and I write down my Success Club goal for the day on my day book for that day. I circle it and I highlight it. And that is where I started to really just, I couldn't actually believe what was happening, because I was connecting so much my vision and my goals, and writing that Success Club goal, it freaked me out. And I know like a lot of you guys aren't, you know, that way inclined, and neither was I, honestly. Like I didn't believe in powers of the universe. I thought it was all complete nonsense. But when I started doing that and it started happening, it completely freaked me out. But it made me realize the power of emotional connection to a goal and a vision. When you genuinely believe it's going to happen and you tell yourself it's going to happen, it happens. And I promise you that happens, because it's happened to me. And that is where I started to really, really, really fly. And I know some of you guys work full time, and I know, you know, we've got young kids, a lot of us. This takes me 5-10 minutes, but actually 5 minutes. And this completely changed the way that my business went, the success that I saw, and actually the belief I had in myself, because I couldn't believe what that whole process did. And make it a non-negotiable that you're going to do it every day. Like when I was at Summit, I was sharing a room with Jojo and Lisa. I'd get my notepad out and they'd be like, what are you doing? I'm writing down my goals, my vision. And I like, no matter what, it gets written down. Okay, it might not always be at the same time every day, but I am absolutely convinced that's why I've seen the success I have. And it's super simple. It's basically you telling your mind that you're not letting yourself off the hook. And I know Grant Cardone, I can never say his name properly. He always says, like, write it down in the morning and write it down in the evening. I think Jen Sincero says the same. And there's another one that I've listened to recently. He says it. Oh, maybe it's Get Rich, Lucky Bitch. Denise DT, whatever her name is. She says that. Now, I don't write them down in the evening because I'm like, even for me, that's borderline excessive. But write them down every day. Like, write down why you're committing to this business and then reverse engineer it back from your goals. But if you also don't hit your goal in a week or a day, or you don't hit the goal that you'd set yourself, don't get demoralized. Just add that goal to the next week's goal. I.e., say you wanted to hit Success Club 4 in a week and you don't hit it, then that goes on to the next week's goal. And then at the end of that week, Sunday is like, I always say, like, schedule Sunday. Sit down on Sunday and work out how you're going to then make up for what you didn't do. Because that, again, is really empowering, because you see and you find pockets of time that you didn't know you had when you really get that fire on your backside. And I know, like, Donna is amazing at working in pockets of time and putting fuel to her backside when she needs to. So we can all do it, and it is self-discipline. But I strongly believe that the self-discipline comes from the excitement with the vision and the connection to the goal and the belief in yourself and the confidence you have in yourself when you say, okay, this is my goal. This is my marketing calendar. This is when my boot camp's going to start. This is what it's going to be called. These are the visuals. I'm going to start talking about it. When you start to level up and you start to show up as your own boss, leading that thing, I can promise you, you're going to be like, I'm going to do this, because it's your baby. Hold on, Jojo. I'm going to start doing it at night because I have a theory that will help me. Yeah. And yeah, absolutely, Jojo. And I think, again, like, that's what I do, right? Like, that works really well for me. What works really well for me in terms of where I put it in my day may well not work well for you. But I think the takeaway is, make sure you get it done. And I would say, make sure you commit to getting it done at the same time every day. I think if you start to do, like, okay, I'll do it this morning and then I'll do it that evening, you start to, again, it's kind of that mindset of just letting yourself off the hook. You're not being that disciplined. It's not becoming a routine. And even actually with the workouts, for example, I was posting my bootcamp earlier and I was just getting I've done a weekly post for, like, schedule Sunday. And I looked at something I'd written, and it was, I'm really proud of myself for getting myself into a position with these Beachbody programs where my workout every day is a non-negotiable. It's not even, am I going to do it anymore? And yes, I'm like 20 months down the track. So I've had 20 months, but I just thought it was really important to share that, because I wasn't always that way. When I started as a coach, I would often let myself off my workouts. I would often not do them. I would often be like, oh, do you know what? Never mind. I'm too tired to do it. And isn't that amazing that through the process, you become more disciplined with your business, but you become more disciplined with your self-care, with your nutrition. And I know for a lot of you, you're not there yet. So I just wanted to share it, because for me, where I've become more disciplined with my business, I've become more disciplined with myself. And isn't that amazing that our business is to, and it's cheesy, isn't it? But it's to become the very best version of ourselves, and in turn, become the very best business owner. And I strongly believe that if you just turn up day in, day out, consistency over time, even if 1 week you don't hit your goal, but you go for it the next week and you continue to be consistent and you continue to do your personal development, you will hit your goals. But it starts and ends with you. And I wish I could like write all your goals out for you, but you would need to emotionally connect to that goal as well. And also, this was something actually that Claire says. It was a book she read, I can't remember which one, but she said, if you're a kind of person, it's like, what do they call it? The carrot and what's the other one? There's the carrot, the whip and the carrot. I don't know. Maybe it's not the whip, but there's like the carrot, which is like the motivator, and then there's like the being whipped part. You need to think about also like what the consequences are if you let yourself off the hook one day, what the consequences are for your life. What does that mean? It means that for me, if I let myself off the hook, then we don't have the incredible family life that I've got a vision for us for the future to have. Arthur doesn't have the choice of whatever education he wants to do. We don't have a Maryland holiday home. And so if there's ever a day where I'm lacking motivation, which I'll be honest, we're all completely like human. There are days when I really don't want to work, but I show up, and I show up because I'm like, the power of not doing that and not reaching that vision and goal is enough to get me to do that thing, even on the days when I'm not feeling that disciplined. So think about that for you. I'd say like on the days when you're not doing the stuff you know you need to do, which we all do from time to time, think about the consequence of you not putting that work in now and what that means for your life, your family, for your home, for your, think about that, because that stops me not doing stuff that I know I need to do. And remember, there is nothing and no one that is better than you. There is no one that can do this better than you. There's no one that's cleverer than you. Anybody can be truly successful in this business. Each and every single one of you can be. It is just consistency over time, self-discipline, belief, and doing your personal development. And that's it. And isn't that amazing? So hopefully that's helped you like go away and like use this as a practical exercise. Don't just be like, okay, great, thanks, Izzy. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow morning, but I'd say like Sunday is the best day. It's a great day to talk about goal setting. Sit down and be like, okay, what's my goal for the month? Just because we're near the end of the year, don't start in January. December's a great month. So 1st of December, what's my goal for the month? What's my goal for the 6 months? What do I need to do this month to achieve that monthly goal? What do I need to do this week? How's my calendar going to look? And also, really crucially, which I should have mentioned at the beginning, bar blend and vegan beach bars. This is huge. So if you haven't been keeping up on the team page, Bar Blend launches on the 3rd on Tuesday for 10 early release workouts. So they will release on the 3rd to the 15th. So we as coaches get to kind of show everybody, if you've got coaches that have been on the fence, perfect time to get them on board because they're going to get the 10 free Bar Blend workouts. So it's a no-brainer. And then when we move into January and we've been like showing up over the Christmas period doing those Bar Blend workouts, people are going to be, I'm 100% convinced, like chewing our arm off to do that Bar Blend program in January. And then vegan beach bars. Obviously we have the ever increasing fashion and it's just a healthier choice in general to be vegan. And so vegan beach bars are going to be huge for some people, including your customers and coaches. So make sure you've communicated that. Yes. And Vegan Recover, I think that's in the US now. Have you got Vegan Recover already, Jojo? Yeah, we don't get it till next year, but I'm not sure when. Hold on. Yeah, they've got vegan. I think it might be January. Yeah, that's fine. So leverage that is what I'm saying, guys. Like, I must have sent that free workout link to about 80 people and they're all loving it. And yeah, they might not sign up this month, but you better bet there's going to be probably a good percentage of them come January who are like, do you know what? I really need to do something. And that workout that Izzy sent me, I'm going to go to Izzy because she sent me that workout. So do not sit on your hands. Get that workout sent out, because I promise you, this time last year we had Transform 20, and Transform 20 absolutely just flew me into January. And that was because I did exactly the same. I did the 10 early release workouts. I was showing up in December on that step, and people were all intrigued because it was something a bit different. This is like what Bar Blend is to Transform 20. And come January, oh my goodness, it was just unbelievable. So who was that? Yeah. Does anyone have any questions? I know I've covered quite a lot. But I hope that's been really helpful. It's genuinely stuff that I learned along the way and just has really, really helped me to hit my goals. Let me just, where's my mute gone? Unmute all. Does anyone have any questions or comments? No.
Izzy.
Yeah.
So I'm still a little bit confused about the dates for Bar Blend.
3rd.
Do you know anything?
Yeah. So I'll post in the team page again. I posted earlier on last week, but Bar Blend we can purchase from the 3rd. So Tuesday.
But that's only for coaches, right?
Only for coaches for 10 days. We get, or not 10, well, yeah, 12 days. We get 10 workouts. And
yeah, that's what I thought.
But I think that customers can purchase after the 15th of December, but they can't get access until maybe they must get, it must be like Morning Meltdown. They must get one sample workout. I'll post it in the team page later on. Yeah, Lisa, 16th of December for customers to purchase. Access as of 3rd of Jan. Yeah, it's similar to Morning
Because
Meltdown.
it doesn't really come out until January, right?
Yeah.
But only the coaches are going to get the 10 first workouts.
But yeah, but if you've got maybe like, I don't know, like lots of promoted post girls who've been on the fence about coaching, I think now's a good time for the coaching because they can then get the 10. Where's she gone? She's gone. Oh no, somebody went and Jojo popped into the middle of my screen. No, with the coaches, what I was saying was, are you listening? No, she's not listening. Jojo, are you there?
Oh, I'm here.
What I was saying was, with the if you've got coaches on the fence, she's not listening.
Baby.
That's right. Has anyone else got any other questions?
No, sorry, my girl distracted me.
Mommy, who's the name?
Because we had, I know one of my girls had a person that wanted to get the Bar Blend, but we're confused about like when it was available.
Yeah, so but you could enroll someone as a discount coach.
Yeah, we tried doing that with her.
Yeah.
Yeah, we tried doing that with her, but she's like, she didn't want to sign up as a discount coach either. Confusing. So then that means she won't get access until the 3rd or the 16th?
No, they can purchase on the 16th, but it doesn't start on the 3rd. I would send her the sample workout. Have you sent her the sample workout?
I think she's done the sample workout. Okay. It's not my client. It's Grandma's client.
Okay. Bye. Okay. Kelly's. I think that was Kelly saying bye. Yeah. I'm gonna post all of the. I posted it last week or this week. But I'll post it again. Do we? No, okay. You can't get it on demand. You have to purchase it. Otherwise, I think to go on demand, I don't even know. It might even be April before you get it on demand. June. Yeah, maybe
for 6 months.
The one. The other one. The work.
No, not 8.
Does anyone have any questions on the goal setting stuff?
This way, that way, they fall off. And look at, he walks by himself.
Any questions? No? Are we good? Okay. Cool. Well, thank you so much for making tonight, guys. But remember, as a closing piece, do not sit on your hands through December. December is the time that you are going to literally start your 2020. You will either show up in December and go flying into 2020, or you'll sit on your hands through December and you won't be able to get your car started in January. I'll be honest. December is what made my 6 months of 2020, and I went ham. I went crazy. And we kind of can because people are more on holiday. So it's just, I don't know, it's just easier to do that. But it's also an exciting time of the year, and it's good to show up with excitement. So doing those Bar Blend workouts, if you're like, do I get the early access or not? If you want to leverage your business, you get those early access workouts, because that is what people doing nothing right now are going to watch you doing those 10 workouts, and you're going to pique their interest so much. They're going to have had the free workout from you. They're going to see you doing those 10 free trial workouts, which is really going to be something different because it's obviously 10 different workouts. And it builds intrigue and excitement. And it was just like Transform 20 this time last year. So remember, you have to have skin in the game to see success, scarcity and abundance mindset. And I strongly believe in this because I had a scarcity mindset. Every time that I held back and was like, oh, I can't invest, my business stayed still. Every time I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to back myself and I'm going to do that thing. Way more came back tenfold. So remember, we run our own businesses and we cannot scale in the way that we want to, like no matter what the goals are, unless we're investing. Having skin in the game is so key. And people want to see that with those new programs. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much, guys. I'm not going to keep you any longer. Have a happy Sunday. And for the business builders here who've made it into the business builders group, I'm going to set up a new group for you guys and I'll let you know when the call is for that. Cool. Nice to see you. Bye.